Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing my second finished sketchbook. And I think some of you might be taken aback by some of the sketches that are in here because it is very different than my first one. So let's get started. So don't mind all these weird sketches because I knew since I wasn't using a hardcover that it would come off, hence why you don't see anything like over here, or it's not folded back or anything, like the actual paper's like right here. So I knew it would come off since it was a soft cover, and I do take it with me places wherever I go because I feel like I should have a sketchbook on me at all times just in case inspiration strikes. So I decided to sketch something not as important on the first page because I felt like it would come off, and I was right, it did. So welcome. And I did put the date of when I started it in black, August 8th, 2018, and I finished this August 2nd, 2019. Now with the Strathmore sketchbook, the mini one that I have right here, it only has 60 sheets. However, I'm starting to draw a little bit more and I just want to get more comfortable with that. So I started something small and I'm going to be starting a new one of these pretty soon. So before, I used to draw in pencil a whole lot because I was not comfortable with sketching in pen. But as you can see with the pencil, it does smudge a bit like on the pages. So if you wanted to draw something very serious, I don't really recommend pencils for this because it does smudge everything very easily. So, but with this going on right now, with all of this, I try to do a random character design by letting people pick numbers, by shuffling numbers in like a wheel or something. And I made 4 different characters that you'll see as I turn the pages from these randomized characteristics. So this would be 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and this is the finished one. Now, as you know, I don't ever draw males. That will be coming up pretty soon of why I don't, but there's a whole reason why I don't. If you can't see, I'm not very good with like anatomy or clothing, and even though it was randomized by like how masculine or feminine they'd be, I feel like I still struggle with making it look like for men. Here I tried practicing facial expressions. I know it's hard to see because of like the smudging, but it's actually picking up a little bit on camera, like around here you can kind of see it. And this is not how I draw faces. As you know, if you check out my art, go follow my Instagram, it will be in the description box. But this is definitely very different. I try to experiment and they're not all the same face. Like maybe a few look very similar, like with the eye shapes and stuff like that, but it's not very consistent throughout. As you can see, this is very different from, say, this. And like I said, I like to take the sketchbook everywhere I go, so I will sketch something that I see or I think is random. I forgot what this was, but I'm pretty sure it was like a broken bouncy ball, and I just felt like, why not draw it? Because if you don't feel inspired, I feel like drawing what's around you is definitely a good start to getting you going. I drew a smart water bottle. I tried drawing a tree from memory, but it just looks like fluff on a stick. And I tried doing a little character, and as you can see, my style was a little bit different back then. This one, I was traveling to another state for my family, and I did another poll of what I should do for like little character design because it was a long drive to there, and I ended up with like this tree boy. And as mentioned in my previous sketchbook, it was supposed to be an original character, but he ended up looking like Groot. This was basically the sketch outline of that idea that you've seen, or if you haven't seen it, go check out that video, it'll be in the card. I'm sure you'll find it interesting. And this is when things went a little downhill because I did not finish Inktober. Sadly, I've been very busy and I wasn't able to complete it all, but I was able to do a few days of the 2018 Inktober challenge. When I used to post these two, this one got a lot of love for some reason. I'm not quite sure. I felt like this was a little bit more neat and polished, but maybe because people thought this was a little bit more relatable, because who isn't sleepy? And this is when I started to not do anything. As you can see, this was in 2019 when I drew whales, not from reference, but more from memory. And this is the sketch for one of my most favorite drawings at the moment. And you can check it out, like the finished product, on my Instagram. Like I said, link in the description. But I really like how much flow this has, even though she seems a little stiff. I like how, in a way, that she's kind of dancing and she's supposed to be like this very spiritual person guarding like a sacred plant or something. I thought it was a nice touch to what I usually do. And this was a couple months ago, so I think it's very important to draw down like your emotions, because art is a form of expressing yourself. And don't mind this, it's just, that's nothing. But for this, I was feeling all types of emotions, and I felt like getting them down on paper would make me feel better, and it did. And I reflected back on it, how much I felt, I suppose, if that makes sense. And I eventually tried to color this in digital. However, it didn't turn out that well because the proportions of like the face, how to get the right facial expression, was not the right way. It just didn't look right, and I wasn't sure how to fix it, so I kind of left it alone. And this is from my demisexual or asexual post for Pride Month. And yes, I'd say I am demisexual because I'm not just attracted to pieces of testosterone that walk around. Like, I gotta know you first. So yeah, that's how I express being a human being, I guess. And I was gonna do this Inktober thing, like I'd have the sketch out and it's day 22, which would be expensive. I will ink this in just pen, and I will post it for my tribute to Inktober, since I am unable to consistently do Inktober due to being an art student. So be on the lookout for this finished product. And for this one, I was planning on doing a video about this as my weakness video part 2, but I feel like I should take a different approach on this, and I already posted the final result on Instagram. But if you haven't checked out part 1, go check it out. I really enjoyed making that piece. It'll be in the card, and I feel like you'll enjoy watching it as well. This is the sketch for my hair journey video that will also be in the card. I know I'm linking a lot of stuff, but you should go check it out because I think they're interesting little videos. So, but yeah, this was the original sketch, and yes, I am drawing or sketching in pencil, and I'm not putting anything here because I don't want anything else to smudge while I worked so hard on it. But I am drawing on the Inktober pages because I wanted to make use of them and not just leave them blank in this sketchbook, because I know that I'm not gonna do these prompts whatsoever, so might as well draw what I want to draw. This, I was trying to get down like a little story time sketch, but I still haven't gotten it down. I'll probably do it another time, but I really like the pose of this one. It's slightly different than this one. I tried to replicate it over here, but I just couldn't. But I like this a lot better, but I like how the bandages or caution tape looks on this one. I'll try to like combine them both, so I'm happy with the overall result. And then this is when I tried experimenting with drawing in pen, and this is not like what I usually like to draw, but like I tried drawing what I used to draw like when I was younger, and I have a very cutesy style, or had a very cutesy style when I was younger, and that just took me back to my younger days. And I still occasionally write bullet points of when I take notes, or I note something about the drawing that I don't like, so that I can improve on it in the future. Once again, I am plugging in my own video. This is the sketch for how I feel about face reveals video. It will be in the card. You should see it pop up like right about now. And it explains why I'm not showing my face on any of the medias that I have. So go check that out if you're interested or curious to why I'm not. And this was for a draft I was doing for like a little project, but it never happened. Once again, my style was very different. Like, I don't draw noses like this whatsoever. I don't do any of this anymore. And this was back to 2018 because I skipped over those pages for Inktober because I felt like I would eventually get back to them, but I knew I wouldn't. And so we move on to this. I was also trying to practice different eye shapes, different noses and mouths. I couldn't get different face shapes. I wasn't sure how to do that. And for a while, I was trying to practice different lips, but I still go back to like this one and sometimes this one. This was when I was trying to design my tattoo, and I did not design the tattoo that I have now, but it is something similar to this. It just has less stuff because I did not want to clutter where the tattoo is, like with my dark skin, because I didn't want it to be not legible for other people. But you'll see this drawing like reoccurred throughout the sketchbook because this was before I got my tattoo done. So you'll see it again like right here and in the other pages. So this is me trying to attempt to draw roses. I did not look at a reference. I probably should have, but I tried my best, and I even put like a note to look up how to draw roses. So yeah, and I put even more notes about it over here. For this, I was trying to experiment with the different pencils that I have because I originally grew up using mechanical pencil to draw. So I felt like using specific kind of pencils for artwork would be interesting. I don't know what I'd be able to use this for. Comment down below if you have any idea because I'm not sure. I'm still kind of new at this, but I thought it would be interesting to try to make some art with these pencils. And then I kind of drew this while I was at the airport for when I traveled recently. So it was a little bit of like art block since I had to take a break from social media, and I haven't posted in my Instagram in a while. I am sorry. I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can when I feel the time is right. But it won't be too long now. But this is me just trying to sketch, get something on paper because, you know. And this, we're going backwards a little bit. This is for Thanksgiving. This was on one of my relatives' tables that I was sitting at, and I decided to sketch that in. For this, I was drawing people like still life, except they're moving, and I did it with highlighter because I wasn't sure how I would get it with like, say, a pen or something, but I went ahead and tried it. And this brown pen or marker thing was because I was testing out an alcoholic marker on this paper, and it definitely bled through, so I'm not sure if I'll be using any kind of markers for a sketchbook like this. I tried using a line of action to make it, or a drawing, more flowy and less stiff. So I tried to use it for this, and I kind of used it for the hair so that the body would follow. And for this, I also tried doing more life drawings, as you would call it, with a highlighter, because like I said, I feel like with pen it'd be weird. And I drew one of my relatives up here. This is my favorite of this whole page, and it was New Year's Eve, so me and her were drawing, or like trying to think of things to draw, and we were trying to draw like Peppa Pig, Puka, and Mario from memory. Some of her stuff will occur in this sketchbook because I like to interact with her a lot, so this is how we do it. And speak of the devil, I did this outline of the drawing, but she made like the clothes, the hair, the facial expression, everything of that sort to make it fit into this. She could have added more stuff, but she just chose not to, so yeah. Mood. But yes, this is me trying to do one line, and this is me trying to do the same facial expression, or like same face doing different expressions, I should say. And with the X's again, it's the ones that like I should work on more, and yeah, I really should work on different expressions a lot more often, because that's what gives a character, I suppose. This is my favorite spread of the entire sketchbook. This is not an original drawing. It was a draw this in your style challenge. I forgot who the artist was, but I'll probably try to find the original and link their Instagram so you can see this drawing if it's not that far back. But I decided to do this, and I was drawing my school desktop background, and it was these flowers I thought were really pretty, so I really like how both of these turned out. As simple as this is and how time consuming this is, I think it just works. And this is when I started getting into drawing with pen a lot more, and this is my relative interacting with me again. But this was also another relative's house. I decided to draw their kitchen and decor. And this is just like in school. I was drawing someone's school supplies, and this was a speaker in that classroom. One of my friends told me to bring a speaker box to life, and this is what I thought of. As I stated before, I would draw the hummingbird a lot more in this sketchbook, and this one is my favorite because of how fat it is and just the overall shape. It's different than your typical bird. It looks like it belongs in a different animal category, and I just absolutely love it. I wish I told my tattoo artist to do this shape because of how much I think it's adorable, but they still did a good job with trying to give me the tattoo that I wanted. And then we're back to drawing eyes. I wasn't sure what I was trying to do with this. It just looks weird, but I really like how this eye came out, and it's in pen, so it's not smudge. I tried to make some kind of gradient with the pen by lightly drawing in it. If you don't know what pens I use, they are the Bic pens, probably the cheapest pens you can probably get. I use the Bic pens in black. Actually, let me see if I could find one. Maybe not in black, because I like the blue ones too. And they're actually these. I don't know if you can see it, but like how simple it is. I just get these Bic round stick pens in medium, and they just, I think they're wonderful for sketching because you can get really light lines, but you can also still make it a little bit dark, or like even over here you can still make it dark, so you have a lot of range. You just need to warm up a little bit, like do a few circles or something like that, and you should be good to go. Now this was for a project for one of my classes. Basically I was in charge of creating the poster and how we were going to argue about like certain things, like why some things are similar to each other and what makes it different. So we chose Atomic Blonde and Mission Impossible. Here's me trying to get out of my comfort zone again by trying to draw men. Don't mind this, I don't know what happened here, but I tried to do this and I'm not sure what happened here either. And this one was starting to look a little bit like Mulan, so I tried to add facial hair, but that just made it worse. So I made a few notes of what I could improve on. And it's the same with this one here. I wasn't sure what I was trying to go with, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah. Out of all the things of this page, my favorite thing is her. She looks so sassy. I absolutely love it. Like, this is a whole mood right here. And I was planning on possibly coloring her to become my new icon for Instagram, but I feel like the one I have now is just still very nice. I don't know. Comment down below what you think. I'm thinking about changing it really soon. For this one, I actually really like this. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but I was at the beach when I did this, and I pretty much used every single ink supply that I had in my little pencil pouch to make this. Also, don't mind this. If you don't know, even though I have one etched into my skin permanently, I dislike birds. I think I discussed this in my Meet the Artist video. I'll have it in the card, maybe. If I don't, maybe I'll have it in the description box, but I think that's all I'm gonna plug for now, but you should check it out. There's a lot of good stuff that I have, if you haven't seen anything else yet. And once again, I am inspired by my Smart Water bottle because of the fish inside. If you drink Smart Water and you never notice, inside like the label, like when you drink your water, you will see this fish and some kind of quote like this one: "If I were me, I'd drink this like a fish." So I decided from this fish I would try to draw how it would look like from side profile, above or below. I did a little mask. I even did a little mermaid. Even though this was in April, I considered doing mermaid, but I wouldn't know how to do it consistently, just like I didn't do Inktober consistently. So from these fishes, I decided to draw real fishes from memory, but alas, I need to work on that a bit more. And for this will kind of ties into this because it was probably like the same day, but basically I was at an aquarium and I think frogs are cute, so I did someone looking at a frog attached to the glass in amazement. So and like I said about my love for frogs, I have a reference picture of these two frogs on top of each other just sleeping. It was so cute. I had to, so I decided to draw them and it was great. And from here on, I was at the beach again. Like, I skipped pages, so I was at the beach and I tried to draw the water. I tried to use my white gel pen, but it wasn't really that opaque. It kind of blended in with the blue and it made this very interesting light blue, and I think that it looks pretty cool. Even though it's not like strictly white, I think it still gives a little something to my scribbles of blue trying to be the ocean. And yes, if you remember this in my first video, I should probably stop plugging, but if you remember this in my first video, this was also me at the beach and I was by myself, so I didn't know what to do, so I drew this. And yeah, while I was still at the beach, I was looking at my left to right because I was not entertained enough, and I decided to draw landscape of where I was at. So I did like little palm trees. I tried to draw the shoreline and maybe like a few houses, but it got too complicated. And this was supposed to be a surfer guy that was in front of me, but he kept moving, so I just gave up. And like I said from my first video, this would be the eye that was the start of it all, how I draw eyes. And I'm gonna say this again, like with all the other videos that I plugged into this video, please go check it out. Maybe you'll learn something if you don't know how to draw eyes or you just don't know who I am. Check out the other videos, please. I'm not begging, but like, I think you'll enjoy it. And oh my goodness, so this was the original thumbnail sketch for this. This is also a video. I'm not sure how many videos I can plug into this, but I recommend to watch that one too, because this is an original idea. I feel like it's about like personalities and switching personalities and how that would look in a drawing. So I'm not going to explain too much because I would ruin the whole other video, but go check it out. I was at the beach again, and I really like this one, this pose in particular, because it looks so good. It has a lot of movement and it's not like too much, not as stiff like the others. And I think I got the proportions right on this lady. It was very interesting trying to draw her. And yeah, don't mind this. I was kind of in a mood this day because something was happening and I didn't realize it until later, so don't mind that. I'm not even gonna go into this because if you've been following me for a while, you know exactly what these two are. I already plugged this one, my Meet the Artist video, but this was also the original sketch for how I draw digitally video. So yep. And these are like a few expressions of different girls, and I really like how this one turned out, especially. I think she's super cute, but I do like the feeling of the other ones as well. And this guy too. Like, I don't draw kids, so I decided why not do that, and to give him a very childish like nature. So yeah. And we're coming to the end of this sketchbook because, as you can see, these are definitely more recent drawings. This is part of my Instagram. You can go check that out. And this is from my weaknesses video, like my art weaknesses part 1 video that's already up. So yeah. Now, I really don't like this sketch. This was supposed to be part 2, the original part 2, but I really did not like this guy's face. Like, come on. Come on. I don't think it would have worked out. So I scrapped that idea. And then I was just doodling with my relative again because that's how we bond. And I drew this as trying to like maybe make an original character, someone that's obsessed with like nature, who's very smart but also like sassy. And I was originally trying to make phone cases idea, so that's why they're all rectangular, but this ended up just being a regular drawing in the end. But maybe I'll make this into a phone case one day, just one day. And I think that's the end because I didn't know what else to put on this, and I made a few notes of what I'm gonna do for my next one so that maybe I could improve in my art. So yeah, thank you for watching and hope that you check out the videos that I mentioned in this video because I think they're interesting, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but I think it's a good idea. Comment down below what you thought of this video, any feedback, what you want me to do next. I'd greatly appreciate it. You can give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I know this is a little jumpy or a little different from my previous one where there are actual finished drawings and not much as sketches, but you know, sketchbooks are for sketching. So yeah, I'll see you next time.